Spider-Man had to go through a lot of hoops before he finally made it onto the big screen. In fact, in the late 1990s, the rights to Spider-Man were seemingly held by MGM. So, what if MGM had been the ones to make a Spider-Man movie? With Marvel now saved from bankruptcy due to selling off the film rights to all of their characters, the rights to Spider-Man were seemingly now in the hands of MGM. They planned on using elements of all the previously cancelled versions of the movie, with hopes of getting a Spider-Man film in theaters before the year 2000. However, despite this, Marvel would claim that they had ownership of Spider-Man and planned to sell off the rights to Columbia Pictures. Now, Columbia had something at this point in time that MGM desperately wanted: the film rights to Ian Fleming's first James Bond book, Casino Royale. Kevin McClory, who had worked closely with Fleming on the development of the book Thunderball, would claim that he had the rights to both the story and characters in that book. In fact, he was the one responsible for the unofficial James Bond movie Never Say Never Again, which was basically a reboot of Thunderball. Now, what does this all have to do with Spider-Man, you might be asking? Well, McClory was now working with Columbia, with plans to reboot Thunderball once again, this time as part of a project called Warhead 2000. Now, MGM would once again fight them over the rights to both the characters and story. Now, not wanting yet another lengthy series of court battles, they decided once again to settle out of the court. Now, MGM and Columbia would decide to trade the rights to Casino Royale and Spider-Man. So now Casino Royale was back at home with MGM, while Spider-Man, as Marvel intended, was now in the hands of Columbia Pictures, who were quick to begin production on a Spider-Man movie of their own in 1999. So yeah, this is probably one of the weirdest and weakest what-if scenarios I've ever done. This was more or less kind of to just bridge the gap, because, you know, I wish I had made these canceled Spider-Man videos in the correct order, which I didn't do, okay? Like, I made the James Cameron and David Fincher videos a while ago, before I was doing these detailed canceled movie videos that I'm doing now, and I'm proud of them. And I'm honestly looking back at the ones I did just a few months ago, kind of embarrassed, because, you know, back then I cared more about the plot, but now I care more about the behind the scenes. And I'm sure that some of you prefer one or the other, but, you know, I didn't want to skip ahead because I ran into a conundrum, because there's another canceled Spider-Man movie before the Sam Raimi one, and I can't get to that because, you know, the David Fincher one would get in the way. Like, let's say that you guys wanted to know what happened after the Michael Jackson one was canceled. So how am I supposed to explain what happened between MGM and Columbia without the David Fincher one being right in the middle of it and getting in the way of the playlist being chronological? You know what I mean? So I had to do this video just, you know, to not drive myself crazy. So if you guys want to hate on me for this, because it's not really a proper canceled movie, I understand that. I just think it's kind of an interesting story that, you know, MGM would trade the rights to Spider-Man for Casino Royale, which did work out in the end because, you know, Daniel Craig's James Bond movies ended up being the most successful Bond movies of all time, and they were mostly excellent. 3 out of 5 of them were great. Yes, I did like No Time to Die. Don't hate me. And as for Spider-Man, well, we all know what happened to him. He would go on to have a great series of movies. So, yeah, I think everything really worked out in the end. Could MGM do a great Spider-Man movie? Sure. I mean, they did, you know, one really good James Bond in the 90s. one. The other ones are okay. Tomorrow Never Dies is fine. World Is Not Enough has its moments, and well, we all know how Die Another Day went, so you know. But I'm sure that they were capable. I think they had the ability to make a great Spider-Man movie, and if they were just going to use the unused scripts, then I think that they would have been in good hands. You know what I mean? Because yeah, by owning the rights to Spider-Man, they had access to all the unused scripts, and they were just going to use those. I've heard that they really wanted to just adapt the James Cameron one just without James Cameron. So, I mean, and the James Cameron one sounded pretty good to me, so I'm pretty sure it would have been fine. Now, do I think it's better off that Spider-Man is with Sony? That's debatable, because Sony has made some not-so-good decisions with Spider-Man over the years, but ultimately I think that their good decisions outweigh their negative ones. I think that, you know, even though Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 weren't the best, I still love Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's movies. And even the Venom movies I get a kick out of, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm recording this before Morbius has come out, so I'm hoping that Morbius doesn't suck. The trailers have been okay, so I'm hoping that the movie's at least okay. Hopefully it's not like this awful thing, you know, hopefully. But either way, I do think it was probably for the best that Spider-Man ended up with Sony, but MGM absolutely could have done it, in my opinion. I think that, you know, there is a chance that there could have been some studio interference, because there was plenty of that on the James Bond movies as well, from what I've heard. But, I think it would have been fine. I think that, you know, as long as they stuck to the unused script, or if they hired somebody with a clear-cut vision for Spider-Man and they had the right talent involved, I think the MGM would have been just fine. And maybe Spider-Man along with James Bond could have really made them stand out on their own, and they would never have gone through the financial difficulties they went through later. That's a possibility. I don't know. I guess you can let me know about that in the comments down below. And once again, I want to apologize. I know this is not a proper canceled movie, but I kind of just wanted to bridge the gap between the Michael Jackson one and the David Fincher one. So yeah, be sure to watch the Michael Jackson one before this if you haven't already, and be sure to watch the David Fincher one after this. Or if you want, you can just watch all the canceled Spider-Mans I've done, because I'm officially doing them all in chronological order. So start off with Roger Corman, where I have the highest pitch voice ever, and I'm sorry about that. I was being an idiot. And then work your way through, you know, Tobe Hooper and the rest of the canons, and then 21st Century Films, James Cameron, Michael Jackson, then here and David Fincher. And yeah, you know, I know that the chronological stuff's not going to be for everybody, but if you do like the chronological stuff, I actually ordered all of my canceled Marvel movie videos in chronological order. So it starts off with the canceled Dazzler movie, because that was in the late 70s they were going to do that, and then it goes ahead to the Amazing Spider-Man Cinematic Universe, which is the most recent canceled movies I've done. So yeah, and chronological, I mean. I did those a while ago, but you get what I mean. Like in the 2010s is when they would have happened. So yeah, just if you want to watch more movies and you want to watch them chronologically, they're right there to watch chronologically. This will be ordered chronologically as well. So be sure to watch all of those. And if you enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your friends and all your various social media platforms. And speaking of social media, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Rinzler_Productions, and I'll see all of you tomorrow in the next video.